Math has never been my favorite subject, and I'll admit I was nervous about teaching math, even at an elementary level. Although computational thinking has given me many good resources to use in math, such as Scratch and Python, Sphero was one that really stood out to me. I was unsure going into the exercise, mostly because of the word coding brought images of complicated computer programming to mind, and the idea of doing math calculations to create shapes on a computer was daunting. Despite my hesitations, during the lesson, I was delighted and curious about the little robot ball that followed my directions. Although it took me a few tries to get used to the programming, it became quite straightforward, and I felt confident about what numbers would make the ball move in certain directions. Then, I started asking questions and wondering what would happen if I changed my programming slightly. I found myself exploring ways of controlling Sphero that I would have originally thought impossible. What I realized after the Sphero lesson is that the best way for me to learn is not pencil and paper. Rather, it is through hands-on experiences. Although Sphero incorporates numbers and shapes and angles, it didn't feel like math, where if I were to get an answer wrong, that was it. It felt more like a science experiment, where I could test theories and make mistakes to ultimately find the answer I was looking for, which felt amazing to finally get. Thus, I realized that Sphero offers so many opportunities for differentiated learning. Maybe I'm not bad at math, maybe I just don't understand it in the context it is being taught. I am a strong believer in differentiated learning, and it is something I want to bring into a classroom with me, and I have found that Sphero is a great tool to do just that. On top of being helpful for different learning styles, I realized that it is a really low floor, high ceiling lesson to give students. When I was trying to make a basic square, the team beside me had already moved on and figured out more complicated shapes like a circle. However, they weren't being held back in any way by me, and I wasn't being pushed forward into shapes I wasn't ready for. Plus, I didn't feel like I was behind in any way. I was actually very curious, and I was able to communicate with them to find tips and tricks. Although I still don't know Sphero as well as I would like to, I think that I have a solid foundation to take with me into a classroom. I want students who have a similar relationship to math as I did to understand that it isn't all pencil and paper, right or wrong work.